I know that an economic rescue package will present a tough vote for many members of Congress. It is difficult to pass a bill that commits so much of the taxpayers' hard-earned money. I also understand the frustration of responsible Americans who pay their mortgages on time, file their tax returns every April 15th, and are reluctant to pay the cost of excesses on Wall Street. But given the situation we are facing, not passing a bill now would cost these Americans much more later.
That was President Bush just moments ago as he addressed the nation on the economic crisis. He outlined his $700 billion bailout plan. He called it an economic rescue plan. We're giving you an opportunity to tell us what you think about that, and also which candidate you think can pick up the mantle and improve the economy, if either one of them. Perhaps it's too big a challenge for, regardless of who would be elected in November. Either way, we want to know what you think about this, because we know that you are being impacted by this economic crisis and by the economy in general. We're going to return to the telephone lines in just a moment, but first I want to return to our guest here in the studio with me. And Tara, I want to talk about the fact that he acknowledged it's going to be a tough vote for members of Congress, and he actually praised Congress and said that as a bipartisan effort, it has been working together to try to help all Americans. Do you think Congress will pass this?
You know, I think that Congress needs more time, and I think the fact that the president is sort of asking Congress to jump when, first of all, he's had this bailout written for the past couple of months, and we heard that from his own deputy press secretary, and the fact that he's hoisting this on Congress now, I think they're going to take more time, and they're going to really look at it and analyze it and figure out how to best resolve this issue, but not doing so on the backs of taxpayers and working families.
Do you think it's time, though, given the economic crisis, given the turmoil that everyone seems to be feeling, that it's time to be pointing fingers? Or, as the president pointed out, should it be a bipartisan approach to improving the economy and fixing the basic problems, regardless of how we got here?
I think it is. I think the fact is that some issues in Washington, having been on the banking committee as I was, are really rise above partisanship. At some point you can say, okay, you're a Republican, I'm a Democrat, whatever it is, let's move on. The fact is that we're going to find some compromise to address this crisis in a way that's going to help the consumers, save businesses, and have our people be protected in their investments.
By Sunday there'll be a bill, and Monday they'll vote on it. And if for no other reason, because Congress goes home in a couple of weeks to campaign for re-election. And you don't want to be the Congress that goes home campaigning while the economy slides further down a slippery slope. You don't want to be campaigning when the stock market is down to 8,000 on the Dow Jones Industrial. So if for no other reason, Lynn, they will get something done over the weekend. I predict they'll vote it on Monday, and it will be a bipartisan effort, as Congressman John said.
Now, you know, it's interesting because you talk about members of Congress going home to campaign. Certainly Barack Obama, John McCain on the campaign trail every day, hearing from constituencies saying that the economy is their #1 concern. It's bypassed the war in Iraq now this year. They issued a joint statement just moments before President Bush did that said that they're actually going to try to work together and to put politics aside momentarily so that they can come up with an economic solution that all of us can deal with. What do we think of that? Liz, what's your opinion of them coming out in this united front?
Well, you know, I think it's a good thing, actually. I think that this is an economic crisis that does cross party lines. But I find it also fascinating that then Senator McCain suspends his presidential campaign so that he can come back to Washington and deal with it. I mean, in some ways, it was almost as if the joint statement was a load of malarkey and just a press op for him, because then he upstages Senator Obama by making this big dramatic announcement that he's going to suspend his campaign. I mean, just real quick, I want to go back to, I actually agree with my Republican friends up there that I think there will be a bill this weekend as well, and I do think that they're going to vote on Monday, but I don't think it's going to be $700 billion. I think it's going to be a heck of a lot less.
Could be.
Tara, if they vote, as Dan pointed out, you know, these congressmen are going back to their home districts, and certainly they are going to feel the heat from their constituency and from potential voters. They're saying, what are you doing about it? So if they don't pass the $700 billion, they probably have to pass something, or else they're going to face enraged voters.
Well, I think something absolutely will be done. I mean, there's no question that something has to be done. However, I think that it would be irresponsible of anyone to rush and do something without really trying to examine what went wrong and how we can properly address this issue in a way that mitigates exposure to the taxpayers to the greatest extent possible.
If you want to see more of this episode of It's Your Call, you can with Comcast On Demand. Using your Comcast cable, go to Channel 1, get local, CN8, and then choose It's Your Call, CN8. On air, online, and on demand.